Hey there. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about setting up your pages in InDesign. I've actually given you a couple of other people to watch as well, but I think it's important to have diversity. So you can see that your document is 10 by 9, and that's per page. So 10 inches and 3/4 high um, and 9 wide. What is happening here? Yeah, with a total of, I don't know why this says H. This is the height, vertical, horizontal. I don't know why I have it indicated in that way. All right, so let's take a look. One of the things I want to point out to you is you can see that even here I have my own guide and I've created a master page with elements. And so that's really important for you to know that every document that I create, I do the same thing that I'm asking you guys to do. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come into InDesign. I'm going to go to File, and I know you can't see File, but I'm going to come to File, down to New Document. And I do this in a very specific way, and the other guys that I have posted are going to do something different, which is something I think is a positive. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is width. So the width is 9, and the height is 10 3/4. So 10.75 is the numerical value for that. Now, we're going to be doing 6 pages, but we know that the first page always starts with that weird right page. So we're going to do 7 pages, and we're going to ignore that right page. Now, we could set up columns here and margins, but and I think that those other guys will certainly show you how to do that. But from my perspective, I like to do this holistically. I like to do it. I don't like people setting things up for me. So I am not going to be setting any of this up. I'm just going to hit create. Oops. Let's go to new document and try that again. Facing pages is important, and I'm going to have 0, and that was my big issue. By the way, I need to make sure that I come back in here and do inches. So I forgot to 0 out my margins, which I almost always do the first time I create a document. All right, hit create, and you can see that that went away. Now, again, we have this odd right page that we always start at. So this is going to be our back. This is going to be our ad for our cover, and this is going to be, this page is going to be our cover. So let's go ahead and set up 2 master pages. So I'm going to insert new master pages, and this is going to be B. We'll leave it at B. It doesn't really matter. So here, I'm just going to give myself indicators of this is going to be my back. So I know that it's a natural inclination to believe that the first left-hand page is going to be your back, but it's not. If you lay a magazine out so that it's splayed out for the cover and the back, you'll see that the back is here and the cover is going to be here. We're going to ignore the fact that we're not offering to give ourselves a spine here. It's not something I feel like we need to worry about. And so over here, we're just going to make this our cover. And you guys don't have to do this. I'm just doing this to reinforce where your back and your cover go. All right, so one of the things that we want to do is we want to make sure that we have a 1/2 inch all the way around here. And we're doing that because we don't want anything that's of importance to go over that. And to be honest, that's all we're going to do for our cover, is that 1/2 inch. Actually, I'm going to do 3/4 of an inch on the interior area. Maybe we'll just do a 1/2 inch. And so for our cover, this is all we need. We just need to make sure that nothing is too close to the edge and might get cut off. And I gave myself a little bit of a bigger bottom. All right, so for our second, our master B, and you can see that everything is A right now. I'm going to actually put together our columns for our magazine. And so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do a 1/2 inch on the top and on the left and the right. And in this space, which is called the gutter, I'm going to give myself 3/4 of an inch, and that is because this is perfect bound, which means that it's glued in the spine and the pages aren't as floppy. Now some magazines actually have floppy pages, but we're going to pretend that we're doing kind of a more high end. So I'm going to do a 1/2 inch over here, and then I'm going to do a 1/2 inch here. Now, last thing that we need to talk about is that the margin at the bottom should be larger, much like this, where we would lose things into the gutter. We want to do the same thing over here, so we're going to give ourselves a 3/4 of an inch on each one of those bottoms. Now, once we've done that, we can start defining how we want to break this up. And I am going to choose to do a 3-column. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here and I'm going to grab this and zero it out so that I can find out that I have, actually I'm going to do just a 2-column. It'll be easier. You guys can do the heavy math, and I don't want this demo to be entirely too long. So we can see that if I give myself a 1/4 of an inch between columns, which is, by the way, also called a gutter, this is called a gutter, the space between 2 columns is called a gutter. What I'm going to do is, so that means that I'm looking at 3 1/4 for each of these, because this would be 3 1/2, and then we have that extra 1/2 inch, so 3 1/4. So I'm going to do not 3 1/4, 3 3/4, and then I'm going to do that 1/2 inch gutter. And you can see that these are even. I can also bring this in, and you can see that that is also 3 3/4. So we want to do that on this side as well. And I'm going to go ahead and give myself 3 3/4 and 3 3/4. I'm going to make this video a little bit longer or shorter because I want to take my videos and break them up so that if you guys needed to grab information for any reason, they'd be shorter. Now I want to give myself a mean or a middle line. I like 1/3, 2/3 compositions, and so maybe I'm going to play off of something in my first column here, or this becomes an aspect. Now you can see that these are still AA. So if I come here and drag down that, we have, ta-da, the first page is my back and my cover, and then I have my regular template for the page 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, and 4 for my magazine. All right, thanks.